What did you do today?
Literally nothing.
So you literally had 24 hours to make sure that your thing wasn't going to say error recording device.
I forgot because when we were up north, we recorded that one podcast. I had to change it from what I had it because I had to directly record the sound from the mic. But I don't do that here. I record it through my laptop, which is sitting to my left. And I forgot to switch it back to the original setting.
Hey, were you just talking just now?
I hate you.
No, I'm asking because I couldn't really hear. Were you just talking?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was just a toilet flushing.
I fucking hate you so much. We're recording, by the way.
Did you just record that whole conversation?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, that's going to be the new intro. I'm just going to add a sound effect of a toilet.
Normally I say it's Jeremy, Jake, and...
I'm Jeremy, and this is Guy.
All right. Take 2. Action. Welcome to Table Talk. This is Jeremy. Next to me I have Jesse, and technically on the phone we got Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
He's on the Skype phone.
I'm on the
So
line.
what's up, boys?
Nothing, you.
Shit.
We already discussed that. That was the whole toilet flush.
Yeah, you can fuck yourself.
Jesse, how are you?
I'm good. Finally warmed up from our trip.
Yeah, that was something. I mean, some of us got cold anyway.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's because some of us went out into the elements.
It sounds like a you problem.
But we'll talk about that later.
Look, whether Bigfoot's real or not, I've never met a person that has found him sitting on their couch. Just saying.
But it was a good experiment though, because what if you could have watched? I even made a joke about it when we were driving back, talking shit about you, Jeremy.
What else is new?
We were driving back, and I said, "This motherfucker is going to see Bigfoot walk by the window." And you're going to be like, guys, and we're going to be like, yeah, you're full of shit.
So, Jeremy, do you want to tell the people your side of how this weekend went?
I mean, it was fun.
Do you want to give us a whole rundown of what we're doing?
What do you mean, what we did?
Well, like what we did, the premise behind it. I need a full-on fucking recap here. Are you able to do that?
Here's the synopsis of our trip. Jake was in contact with an unknown man. Are we not using his name on this, or did he say it was okay? The man that saw Bigfoot.
He said it was okay. I can add it to the film, so I'm sure we could just drop the first name here. That's fine.
Okay, well, fuck him. What's his name? Respectfully, fuck him. What's his name?
Mike.
Okay, so Big Mike.
He was Bigfoot.
Was in. Oh my God, we figured it out.
He saw himself.
Oh my God, we were set up. Thanks, Mike. Anyways, so Mike was kind enough to email the podcast and claim that he had seen Bigfoot. When had he seen Bigfoot, Jake?
November of 2019.
Okay, so pretty fresh.
Yeah.
And it was in the area of the city called Atlanta we went to, which is in what county?
Montmorency.
Yeah, I never would have remembered that, so thank you.
That's all right. No problem.
So yeah, thanks to Big Mike and his information, we went up there. It was like, what, 3.5 hour, 4 hour? Well, for you, it was like 2. You drove like 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get somewhere in a hurry. But yes, from suburban Detroit, Metro Detroit, yes, it's about 3.5, 4 hours.
All right. So yeah, we went up there to a cabin, and we ended up having to locate this specific spot where Big Mike saw. Oh, that guy's gonna be so mad if he ever hears.
Let me just clarify real quick. I've never met this guy, so whether he's big or not, no disrespect to this Mike.
All right. Well, so little Mike
Little Big Mike.
Little Big Mike gave us a general location that you, Jake, had to use an actual physical map at times to locate. And we found that location, and then we did some filming. We did set up some trail cams, some bait. Then what else did we do?
Well, I know you went off and explored.
We drank a lot.
Well, I mean, some of us did.
We went out into the woods.
We'll get to the whole drinking later.
But let's do this in chronological order.
Sure. Well, we got locked out when we got up there.
Oh yeah, that was fun. We almost had to take apart the cabin like it was Lincoln Logs.
And my PlayStation network got hacked. That was a great start to the weekend.
I forgot that happened.
Yes. Jesse and I are trying to get into a cabin because, it's windy and cold, and Jeremy is too concerned about his PlayStation to even bother to help us.
Listen, they took money from me.
The premise of the story is, are you going to help your friends or help yourself? And that answer was solved this weekend.
Oh, shut up.
Jeremy's going to help himself.
If there's money involved, sorry.
Anyway.
But they gave you more money than they took. You ended up, it was like highway robbery on their part.
$23 to me.
But I don't want to hear about the PlayStation anymore. Can we continue? I heard enough about it on the way up.
We went to this tiny ass restaurant for lunch.
Jeremy, let's get to the good part.
You said chronological order.
I know these people don't care what we had for lunch.
Me and Jesse both had
those
chicken strips.
Tenders were fucking bomb though. They were good. And that's all I'm fucking saying about the restaurant. Now we can move on.
And then
By the way, Jeremy, are you half-baked or full-baked this episode?
What are you looking at me for?
About half, maybe.
Is he like your keeper?
Huh?
This is what happens when I'm not there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you drinking?
No.
You just
literally drinking
as
he said no.
Mountain Dew.
So the guy says no, and then he takes a sip of his fifth.
I do have Jack over to my right and Crown Apple.
Is Jesse drinking?
Not lying.
I told him he could have some.
No, because driving under the influence is illegal, Jeremy.
You can stay here.
It's a good thing to obey the law.
You can stay here.
You can stay. You can stay in the studio.
Moving on. Wait, we'll cuddle. Well, if we're gonna cuddle, let's stop recording.
Anyway.
Okay,
Jeremy, get back to your story.
We got everything together. We had what? Your camera, your digital camera, which was what? Sony Cam.
Yes, I don't know. I think it's a Canon. They're all the same.
So we had a digital camera, which was pretty decent, with IR lights on it.
Well, we had two cameras on. We had the regular camcorder and then the IR camcorder.
If we're going to get technical, I have my Canon camera. I have my infrared camera. We had the GoPro. I did have a backup older camera that honestly is shit quality, so it would have been perfect to catch a Bigfoot on, but I didn't have to use it. And then I had the trail camera. So 5 cameras.
All right, so we had some cameras. We headed off to go locate that spot, which was in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Literally.
Yeah, that's one.
So in case anybody is wondering, it's pretty remote up there. It takes quite a while to get to where we were. And I didn't have a signal probably 98% of the trip. I only had signal, I think, when we were at the restaurant in town, I had a signal. And then once when we were sitting in the cabin, I had a signal for like 30 seconds. And I had like 50 emails pop up, and then I couldn't even respond to them because the signal left. So it was pretty bad up there.
Did you think it got that remote in Michigan?
Well, I've been that remote, but on the other side of the state. I've never been in that area before, ever, in Michigan.
Okay. That was only my second time, so.
So yeah, it's more like middle of the state, basically. I mean, middle of the northern.
Yeah, but it's pretty north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only like an hour south of the Mackinac Bridge.
Yeah, about an hour. Yeah.
But it's pretty far up there. So
I mean, you're pretty close to as far as you can get. I mean, wood wise, there's there's obviously a shit ton of woods up there, but like once you get to like Gaylord, which is pretty much just east of Atlanta, about a half hour east, you get up that way, you're entering like some cities. There's actually like some civilization, maybe only because you're along like 75, but you go where we go, there's cabins, but nobody's really living out there, especially not all year round.
Except for Bigfoot, maybe?
Well, maybe, but we didn't.
Hey.
Spoiler alert, we didn't get that lucky this trip, although we may have. But we'll get into that later.
Also, spoiler alert, I do not believe in Bigfoot.
No, you do not.
Yet. I don't believe it yet.
I don't know. We had some pretty strange things happen. Jeremy wasn't there, so, we'll have to fill him in on that too.
Yeah, he was making house and home back to the cabin in a pair of assless chaps.
Waiting for you in your bed.
It's pretty close.
All that's true, by the way, in case.
No, it's not.
All of it's true. It was camo assless chaps. So anyways, we get out into the woods and we set up a trail cam, which was pretty cool, which obviously we didn't get shit on, but
correct.
We did set up a trail cam in the, I mean, I don't know if it's the exact spot, but it was the general area of where Little Big Mike reported seeing a Bigfoot back in 2019.
It was in the same field. This guy did give me, I guess, directions, but I've never even been to the area myself, and I've been going up there for the last 15 years. I mean, in that area, and I didn't even know that field was back there. I don't usually go.
Well, yeah, because I think I was like packing up my backpack, and I noticed you were actually looking at a fucking map.
Yeah,
and I was like, shit, like this
2020,
is
I need a map.
in the woods.
Yes, we were deep in the woods. So that was that field, because I don't know how picky people are, so I'm not gonna, I don't want to give exact roads or anything, just for that guy's sake, and I guess my sake too for a little bit. But
well, I do gotta hand it to Mike. He was spot on with his directions, because it did make it a little easier. Because if he would have gave shitty directions, that would have been like impossible to find.
So yes, Mike, if you listen to this, we did find that field, which actually, I ended up emailing the guy after we got back. I haven't heard anything from him, but I let him know that.
Did you email him and say thanks for nothing?
No,
respectfully.
I was a little nicer than that. I did thank him for reaching out again, even though I already did previously. I also told him that how we set up the trail camera in that little patch of thicket which was kind of weird because it was like in the field. Because on the other side of where I set that trail camera up, there's still room to drive around.
We're actually on Google Maps right now trying to locate it.
Jesus Christ.
No, that might be it, because the creek right there.
Jeremy, find M.
To where it dead ends?
It should dead into the big field where we pulled into, and then the small field
is
right
in the middle of the field.
Oh, he's talking about that right
This is the main field.
That's the big one, and that's the small.
Yeah,
okay.
Because we walked this way.
Fuck, zoom out. Holy shit, yeah, we were in the middle of nowhere.
You can,
continue
in
the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Jake had this cool idea to set up apples, because apparently Bigfoot is either a vegetarian or is an omnivore.
That's just what the
sense.
researchers say.
The researchers. He's doing air quotes, by the way. What are you looking at?
Jeremy, every time you mention our spot, I'm gonna have to edit it.
Oh well.
You're gonna have to edit it anyway.
Exactly.
I know, I'm gonna have to edit Jeremy talking because we're gonna get to the point where he just stops.
This is true.
It's like every other episode. Sorry,
it just caught my eye. It was just literally in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, so Jake secured how many apples in that tree?
2.
Yeah, I put 2 out.
Yeah, you put 2 out and then kept the others.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was 3. I wasn't there when you did that because that's when I actually the entire perimeter of that field, which took 10 fucking minutes.
Yes, so I put the trail camera up on a smaller tree, and about, I don't know, maybe 15 yards in front of that, I put an apple right in the middle of some thick shit, and then I put another apple a little higher, as high as I could reach, and I'm 6'4", so I don't know, probably 7 feet in the air almost. Up, I stuck it on another branch that was sticking in the air. I mean, that way, my idea anyway, was that either something super, super big would have to come by, like a bear or, a Bigfoot, because that's why the fuck we went all the way up there. One of those would have to come by, or maybe, like a squirrel would climb up there and get it, but nothing touched it.
Well, that one did have, it looked like a peck or two, like a bird. Maybe nipped at it a few times, but
probably
nothing monumental. The other one, you could have literally just picked it up and ate it.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything wrong with it. I don't know, unless maybe like a bear walked by and farted on it, but I mean, there wasn't really anything on the apple. But yeah, so we did that. And then where did we go after that?
Then we went to...
Well, I took you to the field where me and you spent that night.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went...
That's where we walked on that road.
For reference, I'm going to call it the Coyote Field.
Perfect.
Because...
The first field's the apple field.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so we went to the Coyote Field, which was, in my opinion, not only because of the drive, but how quiet it was. That was way more remote than that field that we were in before.
You know what's funny is I totally get like what you mean, and I'll agree with you. It definitely seemed more remote. There are so many cabins right around where we were that I've seen people use. So I know there's people living in it. Well, I guess not like it's not like we were right on top of them, but they were like within a 3-minute drive. There's a lot of people that are right in that area, right off the main road there, and then I take you that 2-track back to Coyote Field. That main road, there's cabins everywhere, and that road was, like I said, what was it, like a 2 or 3 minute drive till you hit the field? I mean, it wasn't that far, so, but it definitely seems remote for how thick the forest is back there.
Yeah, it was eerily quiet.
Yeah, the whole time too, which was strange. I mean, during the day there were some birds, but it still wasn't what I expected. I expected to hear a lot, like just a lot of movement from birds, a lot of chirping, like squirrel chatter, and we pretty much heard nothing the whole time.
Yeah, it was really quiet the entire, like, even during the day, there was not even that many birds, and when we walked over, I mean, of course at night, a lot of the shit's sleeping. When we walked over to the park, it was dead quiet over there, too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not even any bugs, and maybe just for like the weather changing, I'm not sure, because it was starting to get pretty cold, and it's only going to get colder up there.
Yeah.
But there was really nothing.
So the park that Jeremy is talking about, there was this, like, I don't want to say abandoned, but it was just currently wasn't being used. There's this little park across from where the cabin was where we were staying, and we walked over there. It was, oh man, so this is not in chronological order anymore.
Nope.
All right.
Well, so do you want to get back to Coyote Field?
Let's get to the nitty gritty now. So we had a plan to drive out to the Coyote Field and do some night filming, do some calls just to see what we could see or hear. And on the way there, there's this open field, and Jake had an idea like, hey, let's get out, let's walk around for a few minutes, get some B-roll, see what we can see. Now, before we get to the fun part, I got to tell you, that was the walking into that field was definitely, for me, the best part of the trip, because I got out and you shut off your lights for a second. And I looked up, and it was like the entire like fucking Milky Way, because it was clear. Yeah. And I haven't seen a sky like that since I was a kid. That was really fucking cool. I remember looking up, and I had my mouth open like an idiot. Like I didn't even realize. I was like, what?
Well, nobody could see it, so
I was
it's all right.
dumbfounded. Because normally you look up, you see like a star or two, maybe a planet if it's bright enough.
Yeah.
But that was really fucking cool. So, but anyways, we get out of the truck. Okay, correction. I get out of the truck and I shoot a little beam. And I say, all right, fellas, let's get out of the truck. What happened, Jeremy?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, I think we need to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
I think we need to. Well, let's be honest. If me or Jesse talks about it, it's going to sound way worse.
Yeah, would you rather talk about it or would you rather me talk about it?
I mean, it's going to be bad anyways.
It's not,
Jeremy
you don't
turned.
have to look at it as bad.
Jesse helped me coin the new term that I call Jeremy now, which is a pussy pup.
Puss pup.
What was that?
Cute little pup. That was him just letting go of his soul. He's been defeated. All right, so Jeremy, unfortunately, whether he saw it coming or not, unfortunately had a bout with a panic attack.
Jeremy was a little nervous, and that's okay.
Well, he was nervous on the way in because I'm not going to lie. If you've seen Beauty and the Beast as a child, and there's that road that Maurice goes down on the way to the castle, and it just looks like haunted as shit. That's exactly what the road looked like.
How'd I know? As soon as you said Beauty and the Beast, I knew where that was going.
Yeah, you knew exactly what I was talking about because it's the scariest road we've all seen as children. And that's what we were driving down, doing like 20 miles an hour, and it's just dark as shit.
I mean, like, you literally could not see shit if shit was on your face. I stole that quote from you.
Yes, you did. Which, by the way, only people listening will know this if they've experienced it. But 20 miles an hour down a 2-track at night, I felt like I was doing like 100 miles an hour.
It legit does. It's just so dark. Like,
but I felt like I was also at the same time. I looked down. I'm like, 20. That's way too slow. Somebody's gonna come up on us. And then I had that truck that I was trying not to shine my brights in. Turn my brights off. I could still barely see shit, even though it was right on my face. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was definitely a little unnerving trip.
Well, especially with like little to no protection.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
we weren't really prepared. Okay, so the only thing we were really worried about when it came to protection is that, yes, there is like a small population of black bear in that area of Michigan. We never saw one. We never heard one. We never, experienced anything. There was probably some bear crap that we may have stepped on, but still, we weren't totally prepared. Even though if you were to have all three of us stand on each other's shoulders, would be 30 feet tall. We're big boys. We can handle ourselves, but still, we didn't have too much protection. I agree with you.
Honestly, that was the reason the panic attack came along. I was like, we have nothing out here. With my fucking luck, I'm gonna get fucking mauled by a fucking bear.
You know what's funny looking back at this?
That big, you'd probably pick it up. You'd probably pick it up and like throw it.
Looking back at this now, because when you're in the moment, truthfully, I didn't really give a shit. I was just ready to get out and go outside. Looking back now that I'm sitting in my house, we went out into one of the few places that has a good population of black bear, looking for an 8-foot tall ape, and all I had was a 3-inch blade on me and a flashlight.
Jesse had a hatchet.
Jesse had an axe in his hand.
Wait a minute. You didn't have a pistol on you?
No.
Dude, I thought you had your pistol on you the entire time.
No, I brought my knife on.
Oh my god.
Why do you think I was freaking out so bad?
I'm glad I made you feel good, though.
Freaking out. Oh my god, dude! I've even told like 4 people that was like, no, Jake had a pistol on. Oh my god!
Look, okay, magic is to make them believe something good is happening. That's how you get good footage.
Well, shit, you had me.
How do you think? How do you think?
Tarantino
does it. You just do it, you know.
Motherfucker.
So you do.
No,
No,
dude,
you
I
just
thought
get
from
out,
the get-go he had a pistol on him. That's
you
why I
gotta
was
get
like,
out there and risk
he
it.
ain't gonna take down no bear, but fuck it.
No,
All right.
and
Well, I guess next time I'll ask you.
and my little knife. I gave my smaller knife to Jeremy. That didn't help.
All right, so we literally only had my hatchet.
Yeah.
I had a knife.
You're welcome, everybody.
So
right.
we get out to that field, right? And that's when the panic attack took over.
Well, that was the first field we stopped at.
That's when spazoids over
Look,
here.
man, you only went to one field, okay? Don't say the first
Exactly.
field.
You didn't even go, dude. You got out. Now I wish we had a camera so people could see. But you literally, like, okay, I'm you and you're the truck. You finally got out of the truck and you did this. So just imagine, you know, like what a barnacle looks like on a buoy. That's what Jeremy looked like up against the truck. And I remember chuckling. It's probably in the footage. I remember chuckling because I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, let go of the truck.
Jeremy, you look like a kid that was trying to swim.
Bigfoot decal on the truck. Like we were advertising Bigfoot.
Oh,
good time.
Hey, you guys.
So anyways, because we care about our friend Jeremy and his mental health, we drove him all the way back to the cabin, which I'm going to lie here, but it's only because it made me mad. It was like a 4-hour drive back to the cabin, felt like. So we take him all the way back.
We just took him home.
The ass off. He immediately starts crying. No, I'm just kidding. We take him back, and then Jake and I. Okay, it was a 12-minute drive. Okay, so Jake and I get back in the truck with the hatchet and not pistol now.
Correct.
And we went back to the coyote field. And Jake, you can take it from here if you'd like.
First of all, as much as I make fun of Jeremy, I felt really, really bad for the guy. I mean, we're going down a road. I stop in a field. I look over, and he looks like he saw a ghost. He's just staring through the windshield. I don't know what he was even looking at.
He definitely didn't blink on the way back.
He didn't blink on the way out there.
He didn't blink. Your eyes were like bloodshot because they were dry as fuck.
So me and Jesse get back out to Coyote Field.
You know, because we can handle it.
Apparently, you thought I had a pistol. I don't know where. I don't even know who said that.
I think I said that, and then either you didn't hear me, or I thought you were like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe you were just breathing, and it made a noise, and I thought you said that you confirmed you had a pistol.
Probably. No, I did. I might have confirmed just to make you feel better, but no, I did not have one.
All right. Well, next time I'm bringing a shotgun.
Okay. Are we talking about next time we go a bear, or just next time in period?
Next time, just anywhere we go.
Okay. You just bring like an assault. Jeremy, every time you give a location, I gotta do the stupid censor beep. They're getting real sick of hearing this beep. So look, when we go to our next location, don't worry. There's nothing there but coyotes. There ain't no bear.
Yeah, there's no bear.
No, there ain't no bear.
Where?
Are you even going to go? Because do we want a flashback of what happened? We just let them know, but I can let them know.
I also won't take an edible next time we go.
This dude's eyes did not close for about 30 minutes. From the time
we... staring contest, man. What can I say?
Yeah, you could have stared
with yourself.
Okay, but all right. So in Jeremy's defense, though, we did talk about like him getting eaten a lot on the drive-in. It's probably gonna be you first, buddy.
And I was fucking already. I hurt my fucking foot in the mud.
Oh, stop!
I think the foot thing was debatable.
No, it really wasn't, because it was still hurting when I came home, bitch.
I still think it's debatable.
Whatever.
So, we mentioned him getting eaten. I made a couple Blair Witch comments. I think at one point you told him like that he would be like possessed by the woods.
Yeah, you did, you fucking dick.
So, long story short, we took his dumb ass back to the cabin. And then we went out like real men, savages, just out into the woods. Just with nothing. All I had was a knife, and he even left the hatchet in the truck because we didn't care. So, we get back.
He also thought you had a pistol.
So, if my significant other hears this, I totally had the hatchet with me. He's lying.
Yes, his hands were too full to carry anything else. So we get back out to that field, and just to kind of give a picture of somewhat what it looks like when you're driving in, you're driving into basically to where the clearing is. It's thick as pretty much a thick forest can get. Like
thick as peanut butter.
If you've ever been to
two C's.
It was.
It's thick. It's just fucking thick. It's thick no matter how you want to put it. And then you drive for a couple minutes, and then you're in the open, and there's these trees that are, I'm pretty sure they're jack pines, if you want to get specific, but they grow in like patterns to where it's almost perfect little walkways. So there's a big ass field on our left.
There's one word for it.
Jack pines are right, and then it goes back into getting thick again. In the matter of, I don't know, probably 30, 40 yards. So we park the truck, we get out. And I remember even as soon as we got out of the truck, how quiet it was. And I think that's one of the first things you said on film was, it's really quiet. And I was like, yeah, it's too quiet.
This is weird. Because I was expecting it to be, honestly, like at least have some ambient noises.
No.
But it was literally like you would put earplugs in, and you'd be like in a fucking like deprivation tank. Like it was insane how quiet it was. I still can't get over how quiet it was. Like I could literally, all I could hear was us breathing, and then I could hear like my heartbeat in my ear. That's how quiet.
It was even like that during the day, pretty much.
Yeah, even during the day, if the wind wasn't blowing, it was quiet.
So I didn't tell Jesse this, so I'm going to make a confession now because just because we're planning on going out again soon, a little more local to continue filming. But when I got out of the truck and you had your flashlight and then I got the camera ready, I hit record. And you were like, all right, let's go, and started walking. And I hesitated because I was like, I don't really know if I want to do this anymore. It's really quiet out here.
Oh, yeah, you were behind me a ways.
Yeah, there was a time where I was like, I might reach for that door handle and just jump back in. But no,
I didn't Jesse in the field.
I didn't even think about that until now. I turned around and I thought you were behind me. You were like 100 feet behind me at the truck, and then that's when I stopped walking. So I'm like, the fuck is he doing? I thought you were filming.
Well, I was filming the whole time, which is going to look really, really
I know
good.
you're like, I'm going to abandon him out here.
Look, I would never abandon you.
Yeah.
By the
way,
way,
what are you guys going to do to me?
By the way, the footage of you walking, to be honest, looks really, really sick. Because you literally disappear into the darkness.
Because of that ass.
There was a point where I lost you.
I would have took off running just to freak you out. Dude, you would have been like, all right, see ya.
Jump back in the truck.
I guess he lives here now.
He's one with the trees.
So I got past that little fear, and I caught up with you pretty quick because I was still scared. So I was like, well, if I'm going to go out, at least I should be next to him, I guess.
Man, I would have been pissed if I would have been getting eaten and you weren't even around.
Well, I mean, I would have tried to save you eventually.
I wouldn't even known if y'all got a.
You would have stood there and in your voice right now, you would have been like, "Get off of him."
Probably, yeah. You know
I
what?
tried, and then you just walk away.
I didn't even have a gun in case something did attack you.
Well, Jesse had a hatchet.
Yeah, he was getting mauled, and yeah, just let me reach for my hatchet. So we once I caught up to you, we started walking, and it was kind of cool because we visited the same places earlier, which was kind of nice. all those trees to your left, and then I'm pretty sure that's when me and you stopped and we just listened for a little bit, and then you took the camera and we tried one of those wood knocks.
Before we did that, if you remember, and I don't think it's going to be on camera because it was very low. The lights in the sky that we saw. Did we tell you about that?
Yeah.
Oh, did we? Did you tell Jeremy? Because
that was after we started drinking, though, so I don't really remember much of it.
Well, that's why I don't remember us telling you. So yeah, we saw like it was like to the left of the truck. I remember I saw it first, and there was like this glow above the tree line, miles and miles away though. And then I remember you were trying to see it, and you couldn't see it at first, right?
Well, no, because I kept looking into that camera the whole time, which I feel stupid now looking back at it, but that infrared camera puts out obviously an infrared light. Everybody knows that, which highlights everything around you and you can see in the dark. But when you look up from that screen, it's total blackness for a couple seconds because your eyes have to readjust.
Yeah.
So at first I didn't see anything. I thought you were crazy.
No, I thought I was crazy at first, but then it like kept like pulsing up this light, which could have been, I thought it was like, okay, maybe there's a building, but I'm like, no, there's no fucking building that would be that high above the trees in the middle of the woods. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe it was a cell tower, but I feel like it would have been higher because it was right at the tree line.
Now, I will tell you there is a cell tower that you can see from the main road.
However, that's a red light because I remember I saw that quite a few times when we were driving.
Yes, I was going to say, one, it is a red blinking light. It does blink all night, but it's red, and I have never seen it. Even all the times we've been out hunting, come back at night, I've never seen anything like that.
Because this was like a milky white, like haze, just kind of like radiating above the tree line. And then I remember, first I thought, okay, maybe it could be like a building or a cell tower. I honestly didn't think it was a building at all because, I mean, there's nothing out there. But then when we started walking back from when we went down that road for quite some time, we started walking back, I remember I saw the light again, but it was like in a different direction though.
Yeah, this time.
And that's when you and I said, oh, maybe it's lightning.
Right.
Because it was starting to rain.
Yeah, the first time you saw it, I believe it would have been to the northeast corner. Because when we walk down that trail, we're walking north.
Okay, so let's talk about when we were down that road.
Okay.
So we did some calls, we did some banging on a tree. That sounded weird. We took a stick and we struck a tree. We assaulted a tree. So there's no shit rumors running around. We did that a couple times. We never heard anything then.
No.
So then, and did you get the tail end of that roll call at the end or no? Like recorded?
I had one for sure.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to enhance to hear the rest. I recorded the entire time, the whole time that we heard everything. I had the camera on, but the camera didn't pick up anything but one so far.
All right, so you and I are walking down this road. It's completely black. Like,
oh yeah, it was about 1 a.m. right, or 1:30.
So fucking dead. No, a little bit later than that because we didn't get back till like 2.
Okay.
I thought it was a little bit after 1 o'clock when this happened. So we're walking down this road. The road gets like super narrow when you get to a certain part, and like you're almost like elbow to elbow with the trees and bush and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, we were doing, I think we were listening. We were just listening. And then all of a sudden, we both had a very lucky experience to hear a coyote roll call. And it was like a 6 or 7 piece roll call. I think it may have been 6.
You think 6?
And for those who don't know what that is, or a coyote roll call is something that non-domesticated canines like wolf, coyote, dingo, things like that. They will do a roll call to basically see who's around or who's not around anymore. In the reference to a coyote, they will do it before or after a hunt. And if they realize that, oh shit, number 7 didn't howl, then the alpha knows that he needs to go back to the female and produce more babies. So that way they can guarantee their survival and their numbers. It's super interesting that they do that. It's really fucking cool. Jake and I have both read a book called American Coyote, which is why we were so psyched that we heard that, because we've read about it in the book. I know you and I can both agree that it was terrifying as shit.
It was a very terrifyingly cool experience though, because I want to experience it again.
Oh hell yeah! But I know when we got back to the cabin, it was kind of funny. You were going through a little bit of the footage, and we were fucking cracking up because you actually, that last howl. So the last howl of the roll call sounded extremely close. Like you could almost feel it in your chest. Like that's how close it was. And when that happened, you had pointed your camera right at my face, and it was like, I didn't know that you had pointed your camera at my face because I had shut off my flashlight for a second. And I was all cool, calm and cool and collect until that last one when it sounded like it was on the other side of the tree. And you just saw it look like I shit my pants in my face. Like, I was just like, oh, boo. Like it was like, oh God, we're going to get eaten.
You heard that.
Almost not too long for a coyote. I mean, obviously it has to be a coyote.
It wasn't deep either.
That is close. That one. It's that one.
Good times, good time. That was definitely another highlight. Like, that was totally worth the trip right there. Even though we were freezing cold.
Yeah.
Then it started raining too.
Yeah, it was like probably 31 degrees and it was rain all night while we were out there. Terrible, terrible weather conditions, but totally worth it. Like I would definitely do that again.
Do you want to discuss what happened after those howls when we got back to the truck?
Yeah, so you and I basically almost go like back to back, and we walk back to the truck because we both looked at each other. We're like, we have to get the fuck out of here. So we go back to the truck, and just like in a fucking movie, my flashlight starts to die. And I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Like I thought, like, okay, maybe it just seems like it's not as bright because we've been out here for so long. But then I had you look at it, and it was definitely dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, there's no way that this is going to fucking happen. Like, we have to get back to the truck. And then, because you had your headlamp, which I feel like, hey, God bless you and shit, but that headlamp was trash in my opinion compared to my flashlight.
Yeah.
I didn't feel safe with your headlamp. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't feel safe wearing it.
I did feel safe with your fake pistol.
Yeah, that's good.
I would have ran back to the truck at that point if I would have known you didn't have a fucking gun on you. You would have saw me on camera just run back to the truck like a fucking gazelle. So anyways, we go back. We sidestep our way very quietly, very carefully back to the truck. You're looking one way. I'm looking the other way because we didn't want to be surprised by any coyote. Not that they go around eating people, but I mean, fuck it. I didn't want to be in that scenario any longer. Like, I'm glad that we experienced the roll call. It was cool. The coolest thing I've probably experienced in the woods in a long time, but it was time to go. So we get back to the truck, and I believe it was to the rear of the truck, right?
Yes. To the
first time that we heard the noise.
Yeah, to the rear of the truck.
Okay, so we hear. Wait, was this before or after we did the calls?
This was. No, it was after, but I'm trying not to like over exaggerate or under estimate the amount of time. It was probably, I don't know, 5 minutes past, maybe 3 to 5 minutes.
After the calls?
Yeah, like you did your calls. You did the 3 calls, and then about 3 to 5 minutes after that is you can take it from there.
All right, so yeah, I did some like vocalization, trying to see if anything would respond to my calls. I did 2 shitty versions of a Bigfoot call. Future reference: don't have a person who doesn't believe in Bigfoot try to call to them, because it didn't work out. Didn't work out that great. But then I did a coyote call to the best of my ability. It didn't sound good.
Still probably sounded better
So
than that call Jake had. It was
Oh
called
my
Death.
god, the baloney whistle. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, Jake head is what the fuck is that thing? I don't even know what that is.
You're talking about,
I
okay,
think it was a predator call.
The one that sounded like death.
the one that you're talking about, yes, it's a predator call. It's supposed to, that one specifically is supposed to imitate a cottontail rabbit basically dying. And that's true.
All right, well, it definitely sounded something like death, like everything was dying. But anywho, so I do my shit calls, and then a few minutes passed, and then to the rear of our truck, we hear this very loud, sounded to me, wood on wood bang, like, and it sounded hollow. So to me, I just imagined that it was a very large piece of like stick or branch on a tree trunk, because that's exactly what it sounded like. It sounded like hollow wood against thicker hollow wood. And if you've been in the woods at any point in time, and you've ever heard, like people chopping down a tree or banging fucking sticks on trees, it's a very distinct sound when something hits a tree. It's, and I know all 3 of us know exactly what I'm saying. It's a very distinct sound. It doesn't sound like a rock was being dropped. It doesn't sound like a tree branch was broken.
It was probably just a dumbass deer running into a tree.
It could have been anything. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I think we discussed it when we were out in the coyote field. Like, I feel like I'm pretty sure we talked about it. Like, we were trying to say, like, okay, what could that have been besides Bigfoot swinging his dick against a tree? Like, it could have been something explainable.
To you, when you say hollow wood hitting hollow wood, did it sound to you? Because I didn't catch it the first, what you heard. I caught the very tail end of it.
I feel like when I heard it the first time, it was a little bit louder than when we heard it the second time, which is why I was surprised you didn't hear it.
Honestly,
that's why I turned to you and I was like, "Did you fucking hear that?" And you're like, "No," and I'm like, "Ow." You must have been like stepping or maybe inhaling or just something to where you just drowned it out slightly.
Yeah, I would have had to been doing something, because I remember after your house, I was paying attention. I was listening. I wasn't facing that way. Like, I was facing down the 2-track from where we just came from, because I was trying to face that open area or open-ish area, waiting for another call to come out, which never did. And that's when you jumped, like, immediately. You were like, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like, "No, what are you talking about? I didn't hear anything." And when you explained it, looking back at it now, did it sound at all like what we did when we took the stick and hit it against a tree, or no?
It sounded like that, except it was a little like deeper. It was a little lower of like a frequency.
Like a thicker branch.
Yeah. But it sounded like wood on wood, but hollow. Okay. So to me, it sounded exactly the same as what we were doing, except we obviously had like a very thin branch.
Right.
And when I mean like thin, it was like an inch, maybe 2 inches thick, and we were hitting the tree with it. But this sounded like it was something thicker hitting a tree.
So that's interesting to me, looking back at everything and knowing, or at least hoping, I guess, that people that do believe in this thing, that Bigfoot is real, and they believe that they may communicate with like stick knocks and things of that nature and howls and things. I don't think it would have technically been, if it was, something like that, I don't think it would have been a response to us, only because we initially hit that. I used that stick to hit that tree. That was probably 20 minutes before you heard your sound, 25.
It was quite some time
between. I mean, a long time passed. If it sounded familiar, super, super interesting to try to find out what else could have made that noise,
Something. It was just the echo finally coming back.
Yeah, Jeremy, yes. A half hour later, an echo came back.
It was actually Jeremy back at the cabin.
Yeah, we're going to fuck with him.
Probably was.
He fucking heard us 20 miles away.
So you
never know there.
You heard yours, which I do have on camera, although I still haven't been able to hear the noise. But I can hear you asking me, did you hear that? And I turn back and I look at you. How long would you say after that I heard mine? It wasn't that long.
It was a few minutes because, we were talking. We were also trying to, illuminate the trees and the, the grass for the field, because we were looking for eyeballs, which you did. I don't remember what. It was up in the tree, right?
Oh, the shine?
Yeah, the shine that we saw.
I had two. So, just to recap, because I feel like I'm going to lose track here. So, I did my knock. We got nothing. We heard the howls. We came back to the truck. You did some howls. We got zero response. You then hear probably 5 minutes later or so, you hear your sound. Immediately, I could just kind of hear in your voice that you weren't scared, you weren't frantic, but you were definitely, your voice got almost more, it was more like you were alerted more. Like you were really zoning back in. You were starting to really pay attention to everything again. Or not that you weren't, but it just, that feeling of when you can tell somebody's super into what they're doing at that time.
Yeah.
That was the vibe I got from you. So then we started looking in the woods. And yes, what would be the northwest corner of those trees, around the same spot I did that initial knock, is where I thought I saw those eyes shine, and I saw them twice.
And so that was pretty high up. That was a 20-foot.
Yeah, it would have been up in the trees. So, realistically, it was probably a raccoon or a possum or something.
Or
they
Bigfoot, Jeremy.
They looked pretty spread out, though.
Could have been Jeremy.
I doubt it was Jeremy.
Man, I run fast as fuck, boy.
You saw that
run fast. You had a dummy foot.
It was just all just a ruse. I just wanted to fuck with you guys. I was naked up in that tree with my boots on.
Jeremy was so scared to come out when we were there that he ran and met us, and we didn't know it.
Yeah, man, I'm fast.
So so you shined up in that tree. I caught a glimpse, and I stopped you, and I know I told you to shine back, and I caught another glimpse, and that was it. Then I lost it, and I didn't see it again.
I'm kind of mad because at that point, that's when my flashlight was going to shit.
Yeah.
So, it would have been really nice if we would have seen that stuff in the beginning when my flashlight was basically the moon.
Now, that was the first one, because after that is when I thought... I didn't think I heard something. Sorry. Now I'm looking back at this. I remember going back to where, our backs were, and I started looking, and that is when I saw that grass move. And at that point, there was no wind. You can...
Yeah, so that was across the road in, I'd say, 15 feet into the tree line.
Yeah, probably.
And I remember you saying... Shine your light over there. Shine your light over there. And I shine my shit light over there. And I remember you saying that fucking grass just moved. And I remember when I looked, it looked like it just got done moving because it was moving slightly when I actually looked at it.
Right. Well, I had that smaller light.
What did you see though?
Well, I had this smaller flashlight that you told me to carry, which I'm really glad that you ended up handing me that because it came in, handy.
Next time I'm going to hand you a flashlight and a pistol.
That's all right. Next time, hand me a pistol with a light on it, and I'll just keep that on the whole time. So I'm shining your smaller flashlight, which is still pretty freaking bright and powerful, which is kind of nice. I'm looking back at those trees, and I catch this glimpse of this patch of tall grass just move quick side to side. Like something just hot. It wasn't even like windy. It was super quick side to side, like something moved right through it. And it just kept moving slowly. And that's when, as soon as I saw it go quick, I asked you to shine. And then, you just said you could see it moving slightly by the time you actually caught it.
Again, like you said earlier, it was weird because, and I know you already did, you can look at the footage. Nothing is moving the whole time that we're walking through this field, which has grass. Mm-hmm. The trees are not moving. The bushes are not moving. Like nothing moves. Which is another weird thing about the noises that we heard, is that there wasn't a fucking peep coming from the woods. Okay, so you go camping. I guarantee when we go to next month, if we go, I guarantee that while we're walking through the woods, we're going to hear ambient noises.
I'm sure we will.
That's like a normal thing.
Yeah.
But there wasn't shit. It's almost as if we're not telling the truth about it, because it's almost like not believable that it was that quiet.
I mean, you got to be there to experience it, though, or have been there. Like, if you go up north, literally in the middle of nowhere, and stand outside at night, you're not going to hear shit.
Well, that depends, though, because there's times that you do.
Like, I have been in the middle of nowhere up north before, and it's noisy. There's always something moving around. But even when we're during the day, and we went back to the coyote field.
Yeah, there was a few birds out there.
That's the only thing. There was a couple chirps here and there, but there wasn't shit.
And then when we went back to that old 2-track and got lost for a second.
We'll get to that.
I will tell you, not to go, well, this actually isn't even going off track. I've been going to Coyote Field for the past 6 years now. I've hunted in that same area. I've been around just walking in there, even all over that area, even where we went before, all those roads I took you way back by airport. I call it the airport, where it was that big field of just nothingness.
Yeah.
I have never had a night like me and you had, to where there was zero wind, zero sound, zero movement. I've never experienced that all the years I've been going up there. And that spot I've been going up there since I was 10. That's 15 years.
That's crazy.
I've never experienced that. And I know what Jeremy's saying, because I've gone out, you step outside at, 1 a.m. and you stand there for 5 minutes and there's nothing. But I wasn't out for 40 minutes and had zero sounds.
Yeah.
It was
very weird. It was very weird. I mean, maybe it was a happenstance, but that was one of the weirdest things to me, is that it was so quiet.
So I see that patch of grass move. You saw the tail end of it, and then I didn't see anything. I didn't see any animal. I didn't see whatever move that I could see that grass move. And I watched it back on the film. There's no trees moving again. Not even the grass around it is moving. It's just that one section. I don't know how long went by. It felt like what seemed almost like seconds, maybe a minute. And I heard what sounded like, the only thing I can do is when you put your finger in the side of your mouth and you pull your finger out and it makes that pop sound. That's what I heard coming back from that back corner. Exactly that. I heard one noise just like that coming from the back corner to where I saw those eyes shine. And I said, "Did you hear that?" And I know you said, "Yeah," but I don't know. I never asked you what it sounded like to you.
To me, it sounded like wood again.
Okay.
That's what it sounded like. That's why I never even asked, what did it sound like? Because I thought that that's exactly what you heard, too.
No, what mine sounded more of like what you just did. Now again, I've heard wood
know
sound
that
like that
until after the fact, and we were talking about it. That is what you had heard, and I thought that was weird because I'm like, well, it's not. To me, it sounded like wood, but then again, maybe my ears were on a different angle, or maybe you. I mean, because you were closer to it, not
Well,
by
yeah,
far,
and I mean,
but you were closer
different
to it.
people interpret different things. You know, I can't be certain what I heard. You can't be 100% certain what you heard. I mean, you can in your own mind, but we never found anything. We never physically saw anything. So, I mean, who the hell knows what happened? But it's very coincidental that you hear a sound after making all those calls. I see eyes shine. I see something move in the grass, and then I hear a very similar sound to yours. And this all happened in a matter of minutes of each other. I mean, it wasn't like a long stretch out thing. This was back to back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
It all happened that fast. And
yeah.
At that point in my head, I don't know how you felt, but I was like, I'm ready to get the hell out of here.
I mean, it was definitely a weird turn of events. I was pretty uneasy because I was more concerned about the coyotes the whole time, which I think I said that like twice. Like I kept saying like I'm gonna keep looking over here because I don't want to turn around and see a coyote creeping up on me. Like I want to be able to see it from further away. But
right,
that was a weird chain of events though.
Yeah, it was cool. It was an experience. I'm glad I got to be a part of it. I really want to know what made those sounds out there. And I really want to know what I saw.
Man, bear, pig.
There you go. Case closed. Man, bear, pig.
Close the books.
Somebody call Al Gore.
So that all happens. That was this was. I love that this all happened in the matter of a day, and we've already been talking for over an hour, and we're still not done because we get back and we see Jeremy's ass is just sound asleep. Me and Jesse are out there braving life and limb, and we're trying to get footage, and we're out there trying to prove that something exists. And we get back, and lazy ass is passed out in his bed.
You're damn right.
Didn't even have his fucking pajamas on.
Still in my jeans.
The same guy.
Weren't on. Oh my god! What if we would have went in and you were just wearing the boots, just like we had joked about.
Dude, this is the same guy that before we left to go out to Coyote Field, you actually asked him, "Are you going to be awake and ready to drink?" And he said, "Yeah."
But I woke up and drank, didn't I?
After you took a nice little nap,
little siesta.
And then it was
like 20 minutes before you guys walked in the door.
Well, whatever. We were out there for well over an hour. So, I mean, that was definitely... Oh, it's just to cover our bases here. So the next day, we did go back to the field that was reported where the gentleman saw Bigfoot. We went back there. The bait wasn't touched. There was one apple that had like a couple holes in it from some bird. How many photos did your trail cam take?
There was, because 6 of them were me, there was 21 pictures taken.
Okay. And there was nothing in any of those photos?
Every picture was taken during the day. There were 0 pictures at night, which makes sense because all the pictures during the day are all of grass and trees, which means they were moving enough to set the camera off. That night, there was 0. However, I'm assuming there was no wind where we were at all, which probably means there was no wind over there. So if trees were moving, it wasn't enough for the camera to pick it up anyway.
Yeah, nothing was probably even moving over there.
Yeah, so nothing happened. I mean, nothing happened on camera. I have no proof of anything.
Fair enough. Yeah, so that's basically it for the actual... Like, we did go back. We did track some coyote, which we ended up finding at the very end. Almost hit it with the fucking truck.
Yeah.
As it ran across the road. But that was fun. We did get lost in the woods, which was great. Definitely had some Blair Witch shit going on. Then you and I decided to go walk around and you lost your axe.
Yes, I did.
Oh, your saw. Sorry,
My saw,
you
yes,
lost
my
your
saw.
while you were banging on a tree.
Yes, I did.
You sent me the video of that. You could just
That was
see
so good. And I felt like a dick because it's so clear on camera that it fell out. But when you were hitting, so what I did is I held the camera up to my chest and I kept it still. I kept it static. And I had lifted up my head from the screen and I was looking around while you were banging.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So that's why. Well, I fucking hope not. But no, so that's why I didn't actually see that go flying out of your fucking bag. What caught my eye and your eye is when that like paper or something flew out.
We miss a saw, a big ass saw, but we catch
a big ass saw and you find a small piece of paper.
We find like a fucking like candy wrapper and we're like, pick it up, man. Can't be littering as we're leaving.
It's kind of cool though. We I mean, although we didn't find a whole lot, we did find that den of whatever's living in that thing.
Yeah, we found the den, we found some scat. Did find no saw though, I'll tell you that.
No saw. Do you want to explain or at least tell your side of the strange noise we heard, which was more than likely just a human, but it was still kind of freaking us out for a moment?
Or do I want to call it a yell?
I'd call it a yell just for how deep it sounded.
Like it was very low tone, but it was very loud. Like it had a very
boisterous.
Yes, like it was powerful. It was weird. Like I didn't freak. It definitely stopped me in my tracks because I wasn't expecting to hear this yell. And I know we just kind of like looked at each other and we were like, "What the fuck?" And then just me being me, I'm like, maybe it's those because that's when I started hearing the quad. I'm like, maybe it's them. And then even you were like, I mean, that's kind of far. Like, would we actually hear them over the quads? Because the yell sounded way closer than the quad.
The yell, yes. Okay. I'm glad you said that too.
Like, so if the quad was a mile away, the yell was like 500 feet away. It didn't sound that far whatsoever. It sounded not super close, but it definitely sounded like it was in the area of the woods that we were in.
And I don't know. I guess it helps me because I just started playing back this film yesterday. Which, by the way, thanks, boys, because we got a lot of good footage. We have some really shitty footage too, but we did get a lot of good stuff. One of that yell, you can't see my face, but the way my camera turns, which was being held up by my face area, I reacted to the yell almost how you reacted to the coyote. And what I mean by that is I turned quick. So we were, Jesse, if you remember, we were walking back to the truck, which, trying to remember direction, I guess technically the truck would have been facing west. So we're walking back westward. And those quads were that general direction, at least it sounded like, because that's the way they were all traveling. So my best guess is they were on the west side of the field. When we heard that yell, yeah, it was very deep male, and it just sounded like a deep yell. Like there was no word, there's no wordage to it. It was just a yell. So,
just real quick, just for all the fucks out there that may listen to this and be like, "How do you know it was a male?" All I'm saying is that I was assuming that it was of human origin. That's where my brain went. And if it was human in nature, 100% it was a male because it was extremely low tone.
It sounded like a grown ass man yelled.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's just what I thought it was. I'm not saying that
it
had to have been. That's for the pricks that may listen to this and
I appreciate it.
Pick that apart.
So we're headed
spooks, as Jeremy likes to call them.
So we're headed back westward because Jeremy was, my foot hurts. I can't go out with you guys. So he's in the truck. So me and Jesse, again, burly men, we're out there just braving the wilderness. So we're headed back to the truck, when this grown-ass man yells, and I turned to my left and looked almost behind me. And you were still facing me, and we both kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, that was fucking weird, and we kept walking.
Uh-huh.
And then it happened again when we got closer to the truck. And again, I turned and looked behind me because that's the sound, the direction it was coming from. So to me, yeah, logically, it was probably some dude out in the woods, and either he was calling for help or he was trying to fucking scare somebody. I don't know.
Calling for help, and we're like, all right.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Go.
Nevertheless, in my opinion, it was
it was Mike calling for help.
Oh God, I hope he doesn't listen to this. Like I don't share the opinions of those two. They're individuals.
Yeah,
anyway.
Jeremy and I are idiots. Just
True.
Those yells, I don't think were coming from the same people riding the ATVs.
No, and I also feel like they were coming from slightly different directions.
Right.
But
okay.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong because I was facing a different direction and I'm just getting turned around, you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean, but I could see what you mean by two different directions. They both sounded to me very similar, but the second one also didn't sound as loud as the first one, which in my opinion, I would say it would have been farther away then.
Yeah.
Because it still sounded like the same tone and deepness. It just didn't sound as loud. So for any of them, again, any of you believers out there that end up listening to this, I need to know, does a Bigfoot yell during the day? Or is it only a night thing? You can let us know at tabletalkjj@gmail.com.
Yes, please do.
So yeah, then we got back in the truck and I blew my baloney whistle and scared the shit out of Jeremy, so that was fun.
You didn't scare me because I knew you guys were coming. I literally turned around, saw you guys walking up because I was about to get out and have a cigarette. That really was, though.
Okay, so Jeremy is currently on Google Maps and he's looking at my fucking house. What the fuck?
I do nothing.
I looked over and I'm like, what is he doing? And then I'm like, I live there.
Well, I was going to ask why this is turning into every other episode and Jeremy's not putting any input, but it's hard to put input when you weren't with the guys doing the stuff. So this time I understand.
He had input. He had his, his little episode. Look, for all you know, you saved your own life. You could have died that night.
All right, thanks for coming out, guys. This is the last episode of Table Talk. I'll talk to you guys later. No, I'm just kidding.
It was a fun trip, but touching back real quick just on the whole reason why we were there. Well, I was there just in case any one of you fucks broke your leg.
Jesse is our medic.
Yeah, I'm the resident medic. So but I went there obviously just because I have a curious mind. Same thing how we had our discussion about lake monsters. I think that they can be easily explained away, but you sometimes will run into things that you cannot explain. And with that in mind, there was definitely things from our trip that I cannot explain, and that's what was so cool about it. I cannot explain the lights in different directions that we saw. I tried to explain it, but I couldn't explain it. And then tried to explain the wood banging noises. Now that could have been maybe something for whatever reason fell and hit a tree or whatever. But I find that hard to believe because there was no noise the entire time for a 40-minute hour span. There was no noise, and then it was just after we hit trees, then we then we hear something hitting a tree. So that was really weird, and I can't explain it. And then for you, we can't really explain what you saw kind of dart through the grass. We could probably explain the glowing eyes that we saw. It was probably a raccoon being that high up. Or it could have been a fucking black bear for all we know.
It really could have been, which is really scary.
Really could have been because I know when we took our walk, when we lost the saw, to me, that one scat pile, I think that may have been bear scat, because it definitely was not deer or elk or fox or anything like that. I don't know what. I mean, I can't really explain the yells. Like, I could try. I could like come up with an explanation, but I feel like I'm not really sold on the explanation because I just don't know.
Right.
I mean, it was a cool trip.
That's a good point. I mean, we could sit here and debate all day of what it could have been. And truthfully, I mean, I think the three of us, no matter how we truly feel about this whole thing, I think we look at it as a very intelligent and a literal view. You know, it not to sit here and point fingers of like, yeah, it could have been this or it could have been that, it could have been that. I mean, we're very open-minded people, but I mean, for me personally, I try to sit here and I'm like, well, it was probably a deer, or it was probably a raccoon, or, you know, it was probably a stickfell. But truthfully, we don't know what it was. And that, like you said, that was the most exciting part of it, is things happen that I can't explain. And it's not something.
Truthfully, we all know that you want it to be Bigfoot.
Oh, I want it to, yes. But, you know, it's probably not. And that's okay.
Spoiler alert, Jake is the kook.
Oh, you know what else we can't explain? Whatever we saw when we took the hike Saturday on the other side of Coyote Field in those thick woods.
I feel like that was 100% a coyote, though. So, like, after I got home that Saturday night, I watched what I had filmed. And you can slightly see the shape of like what I was trying to look at. For whatever reason, I couldn't really tell. Maybe it was my adrenaline that was going, because I was pretty amped up, that, you know, because I was seeing something through the tree line. But I ended up watching it like frame by frame, slow mo, like all kinds of different shit when I got home. And to me, it did look like a frame of a dog. So I mean, I feel like that was a coyote that we saw. But again, I can't say 100%, but I feel like it was a coyote.
Well, there's a really good possibility that it was. I only say that because we drove to the other side of that field, and lo and behold,
that's when
a coyote ran in front of us.
But I do remember, didn't you see something walk from left to right, though? And it wasn't the same thing, I thought.
No, and it happened just before that because, yes, I did. I blew that baloney whistle. And I thought I heard something, and I told Jeremy, and he was recording me the whole time, getting my reaction, which I love. So shout out Jeremy. And that's when I got impatient, and I looked at him. I was like, give me the camera. And I saw something move, and I saw two legs. Now, what I saw, I didn't think was deer legs, because, I mean, deer leg, you know, they're skinny, they're a very typical brown color. It looked more either canine or, I mean, I guess canine would be the only thing to put it, because I feel like a bobcat or something would have been way lower to the ground. It was definitely, Bigfoot. It was not a Bigfoot. Well, it may have been, but probably not. No,
okay, well, I should have said this a few minutes ago. Sorry to backtrack real quick. The reason why I'm sold that what I was seeing, like the one that we were actually tracking for, you know, a good 10 minutes or so, the reason why I'm saying it was a coyote is because it was exactly the same color as the actual 100% coyote that we saw run in front of the truck. That's why I'm sold that it's a coyote that I saw. But I didn't see what you saw, so it could have been anything.
Well, right. And what I thought I saw, or what I truly think I saw, it was a lighter brown, maybe almost to a gray fur of two legs that walk the same way dogs, cats, anything on four legs walks. It's where that leg crosses and the other leg follows. What's interesting, it was to the left of whatever you saw. However, what you saw was still farther in front of us. You know, we had to walk more towards the area of where the truck was before you actually saw it. So it could have been the same animal.
Do you think maybe it could have been we were seeing a small pack of coyotes? Because I know most coyotes in that area, from what I looked up, they are that tan, like that desert tan color. But there are like some Michigan coyotes have that gray, like a wolf.
It definitely could have been. I mean, just the fact of it lines up to the same type of colors that you were saying you saw, and then we ended up physically seeing the one that ran right in front of us, probably 10 yards in front of the truck.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could have very well been a pack, if not the same animal the whole time. You know,
the same ones that were trying to suck our dicks the night before.
I mean, that or eat us, whatever you want to call it. You know, yeah. Same thing. But yeah, it was a good time, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting out soon, even if it's local. And I definitely want to get back up there and pretty much do it all over again and see what other experiences we can have.
But is Jeremy gonna come?
As long as we have a gun, yeah.
We're not gonna need a gun if we go local.
If we go local, no.
You had the chance to bring one.
Yeah, why didn't you bring one?
Jake said he was. And he told me the morning of.
I decided not to.
Yeah, he told me the morning of, as we're starting to go up there. I was like, you bring a gun? He's like, no.
What the fuck? All right, so bottom line, we did not locate a Sasquatchian being.
No.
Besides ourselves.
Not this time.
I also had an edible for the first time, and it was trash. But that was my fault because I was drinking. So that was bad. Bad time. Don't ever do it like that. But yeah, we will be going out again. Hopefully in the next few weeks. We also, for those of you who give a shit, we will be talking to someone, another person, but this time like an actual formal interview of someone who possibly may have seen a Bigfoot and heard a Bigfoot up north, a little bit further up north. I'm not going to give any more details yet, but we will be talking to someone. I kind of want to get him on here, but then I kind of don't. Because fuck him. No, I kind of want to get him on here, though, because I don't know how long the story would be, but it would be interesting to hear what he has to say. He told me a little bit about it, and then I told him to get the fuck out of my face. No, we were working. We didn't have time to talk. But, yeah, we should have some more content about this topic. And, Jake, we definitely need to have a long conversation about how you need to convince me that Bigfoot's real.
Well, you know,
I'm not sold, man. I'm not sold.
I'm really looking forward to your buddy coming on, your contact that you know, and I've never. Today was actually the first time you even mentioned it, which I'm glad you did, because I didn't even know you had a friend that has had a supposed. No, I knew you had at least two friends.
Fair enough.
I didn't know you had a guy that you knew that had a supposed Bigfoot sighting, so I'm very interested to see and listen to what he saw.
I'm going to be really mad, and I hope he hears this, he listens to this, I'm going to be really mad at you if you back out on it, okay?
Oh, he can't back out. He's got me roped in, he's got you roped in. It's too much commitment now on the line.
Too much. He already signed a contract, verbal contract.
As far as
I'm going to be the first to say it. I know it was posted on Instagram, but welcome to the show officially, Jesse.
Thank you.
I don't know, Jesse, if I'm ever going to convince you that Bigfoot's real because, well, one, I'm not going to try hard enough because I don't want to convince anybody of anything unless we fucking find him.
It was convincing me that lake monsters was real was unsuccessful, but you know way more about Bigfoot than lake monsters.
Oh, I could probably blow your mind about Bigfoot knowledge, but that's for another day.
I'm waiting for that.
We'll
at the end of like a 2-hour-long conversation, I can tell you that you're still full of shit.
I'm looking forward to that. It's okay.
Jake's just spewing on for 2 hours. You're full of shit.
Full of shit.
So, to the people listening to this that actually have an interest in this topic, yes, there'll be more to come. We're going to have an interview with one of Jesse's contacts, so that'll be interesting to see. We're probably going to go in depth a couple more times. I know, like these two guys have mentioned, we do have plans to go here a little more locally pretty soon. So, hopefully we get some stuff. We can do another recap episode, kind of like this one.
Yeah, we are currently Jake is currently looking at sightings and clusters and trying to see if anything connects, see if there's any juicy spots we could, visit. So there may be more to come.
I got a couple lined up here. Woodline is still in the works, I should say. It is our the filmmaking portion of Table Talk Entertainment. It's the documentary that I am working on. It will be coming out sometime in the year 2021. Originally, I was hoping it would come out a little sooner. However, after all the unanswered questions of this weekend, I definitely want to put a little more time in, get a lot more footage, and go from there. But it is coming soon. It's all about Bigfoot and Sasquatch, and more topics will be coming soon as well to follow with that. You guys got anything else?
No,
but if anyone does have any information, God, I feel like I'm like Bigfoot's missing and we're trying to find him. Like he ran away from home. If there's any information on our little boy Bigfoot,
please call us.
Yeah, please call the hotline but no, if there is any information, or if you know anybody who's ever experienced a Bigfoot sighting or heard some weird shit in the woods, feel free to send us an email, and we will hopefully check it out.
Feel free to reach out at us, tabletalkjj@gmail.com. You can reach us on our Facebook, our Instagram. We have a Twitter as well. They're all Table Talk JJ. Again, send us an email if you have a story, if you've had a sighting, if you know somebody that's had a sighting, if you yourself even one day wants to come on and tell your sighting. We'd be open to the idea of having more people on that have had experiences with this field. So don't be shy. You don't even have to use your real name. You could be like Mike. Supposedly that's his real name, but I've never met the dude, so you never know. Shoot us an email like Mike did. Maybe we'll look into it and go from there. But we'd like to hear from you if you've had anything. Jeremy?
What?
This is normally where you outro us unless you have anything else.
Well, you pretty much did the outro.
All right,
just
perfect.
Letting you know that this ending happens every time.
It really does.
Where Jake has to remind you, and then you go, "Well, you basically did it," and then
he kind of did.
You do it anyways.
He
so
plugged.
Just
plugged all the.
Do it. Just say goodbye.
Shut up.
So,
all right,
Jeremy.
Mike's fine.
Okay, Jeremy,
he plugged all our social medias.
Jeremy.
Jake.
Since I already plugged all that, okay, I'm just going to take the reins on this one, and maybe next week you can have a turn, okay?
Aw.
I know, I'm so sweet. So, for myself, for Jesse, who, yes, is officially part of Table Talk, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, you'll have to ask him. And for Jeremy and all the rest of you pussy pups out there, take care. And we'll see you next time.
Just so you know, we haven't been recording.
That's okay.
No, at all.
That's okay.
It didn't work.
That's okay.
How is it okay?
What are you going to do, Jeremy? It's too late now.
Damn, I thought you were going to get mad.
Why would I get mad?
I thought you were going to get mad.
You got to come up with a better joke. That wasn't even good. Where was the punchline?